Hi, it's Dom from the msguide.com. Today, I will be dealing with something that I find incredibly important personally, and that's research into MS. The UK MS Register, which is at msregister.org, all the links will be in the video description below. If you click on the description, you'll see it will open up and all this extra information will come out. And I'm going to be talking to one of their researchers today, Will. But a couple things. You can just go to the register and input your information. In an ideal world, your hospital that treats you in the UK will have consented you so that clinical information is shared. It's not personal, it's not about you, it's about MS and the patient. And when the clinical information is shared, and when you have signed up yourself to do it, like I and hundreds of other people have, then it gets married up in some sort of computer magic. And that makes it incredibly powerful. Researchers into MS then apply to the register. It's strongly vetted. They can only take certain subsets of the information. It's paid for by the MS Society in the UK. And it's just an amazing thing. It's something that you can do in the privacy of your own home and your own time. And you can help research into MS that may help you, it may help other people, but it's certainly helpful. Anyway, I'll be talking to Will today. We're going to be discussing their latest piece of research and how incredibly useful the MS Register is. And that's going to start for you right now. Hi, everybody. We're joined by Jeff from the MS Register. I called him Will, but he's got two different names in his email, which I find very confusing. So anyway, hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Hi, it's all right. Thanks. My middle name is Jeff, and yeah, long story. So we're kind of the first of our kind where we linked clinical and patient-reported outcomes. But one of the important things I think with the linking, is that we're able to prove to clinicians that patients know about their disease.
Hey, that's really cool. So what that says to me is us as patients investing our time to do all these online surveys every 6 months and stuff must bring a completely different flavor to it than what the doctors just say and see. Um, do you have
Absolutely.
any examples of this? Where you're
A-
getting this gap?
Absolutely. In One of the really interesting things about our recent smoking research is
Mhm.
that we found that with the linked clinical data we have, people, the clinicians will record whether the patient smokes or not. They'll
Mm.
ask the patient whether they smoke or not. We found that we have an error, as it were, of basically more people say they smoke on the MS register than they do at their clinician. So we believe that they feel freer to answer us in an anonymized environment than with their clinician. The
So,
headline news, I guess, is that we have more reported smoking in our database than the clinicians, but
right.
that's the headline news. But the majority do tell the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe this overestimating is not a great thing. Maybe
Well,
there's an overestimation of smoking prevalence or at least rates in clinic.
oh, I mean, I remember I was involved in some research, reading it about eating behavior. People don't actually set out to lie, but they really underestimate sometimes what they do, and there is no intention at all to cheat. So,
Yeah.
but the main thing is the register has highlighted this gap between what people are saying to their doctors in clinic and what they're saying to the register, and there's a gap there. And I mean, can you tell me more about, because I know you've been looking into smoking and MS, and that's been particularly your thing.
Yeah.
So I'm shifting uncomfortably in my seat because I know I do it from time to time. But it's,
Right.
can you
Right.
give me the highlights of what this research has shown?
Well, it's a really, it really was a huge study. I've been working on this on smoking and MS in the UK MS registers for about 3.5 years now.
Wow.
So we've been really deep diving into the data to see ask questions that are relevant and to see what the data is telling us. And we wanted to make sure we were right, and that the results that we got were useful, reportable, and that clinicians would accept it as
Yeah.
well as people with MS. So we took our time in the analyzing of this data on very multiple fronts. But we have the largest cohort of people with MS to declare their smoking data in the literature, I think.
Right.
And this is one of the biggest studies. So we most definitely have the largest group of people with MS in Europe, if
Right.
not the world, who've reported their smoking status. But we have their disability and their mood um, metrics over years, some up to every 6 months for 10 years. So this is long-term data where we can track the changes in their disability and mood over a long period of time, and we have the
Right.
smoking statuses over this period of
Right.
time as well, so we can tell
Wow.
if they've smoked before this, after this, if they still smoke during this.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of data to look
Mm.
at that can give us real certainty that the questions we were asking, the answers we get are right.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, when you're, especially if you're going to come up with something, should we say, even moderately controversial, where it may challenge, say, clinicians' view, because these PROs are patient reported outcomes. So it's when
Yes,
we are telling the register, what we think, what we do in the privacy of our own homes. You've when you're going to go and challenge somebody who's quite academic, you really want to be on firm ground, don't you?
exactly, exactly. So that's why we took so much time and gathered so much data and so much
Mhm.
evidence for this, because we really wanted to prove that PROs can be used to prove these clinical outcomes.
Right.
What we didn't want to do, we didn't gather all of this data and take all of this time and do all these analysis just to say that smoking is bad for you. We all know that smoking is bad for you. Everybody that smokes knows that smoking is bad for you. This isn't news. This isn't research. So whilst thankfully I say thankfully, but that is the result that we got out of the data, that smoking is bad for you. That wasn't the only. That wasn't the whole story. What we got out, which what I'm really excited about this research, is the really positive story that we showed that smoking causes real disability progression. It makes so over time, it makes if you're a smoker with MS, it makes your MS disability increase over time
So,
higher than the disability increase of someone who's never smoked.
right. So let me, if I can't unsmoke all the cigarettes I have smoked in my life, but my MS progression will have gone like this. But
Yeah.
smoking has made it go like this. So if
Yes.
I stop smoking, though, does it come back down to the way it would have been? Should we say? Is that a way to say it?
So this is the really good news. Yeah. So this is the rate of progression actually slows and goes to the same as those of a never smokers. So your rate. So that doesn't mean that, unfortunately, that doesn't mean that all the disability that you've incurred over your life gets better.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't happen, but you stop getting worse faster. You slow
Right.
down in that progression to the same rate that you would if you didn't if
Right.
you'd never smoked.
Right. So it's something. I mean, this is where having indulged myself, I'm really conscious. I don't want to finger wag at people, but this is where the positive effects at any stage. If you smoke and you stop smoking, you will make a measurable difference to the rate of deterioration of your MS. You will
Yes.
you will make it. You won't say you won't deteriorate, but it won't be as fast as were you to keep smoking. Is that fair?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And I think this is a really great message, because it doesn't matter how much you've smoked before. We found that it doesn't matter. It's not related to whether you are a heavy or a light smoker. Even. This rate of progression goes back to the same for all. So it's really quite a good message, I think, that no matter how much you smoke, no matter how long you smoke, there's still time to prevent progression,
Right.
or your progression getting worse.
So there's some, whereas other people have not seen the benefit in stopping smoking. It's essentially, I'm stuffed. I do enjoy having a fag.
Yeah.
So but there is actually a demonstrable upside to stopping, even if for EDSS 6.5,
Yes.
if you were to stop, you would slow the rate of your MS progression. So,
Yeah.
which is kind of like it's like a cheap DMT, isn't
Yes.
it?
Well, at the
So,
moment, this is published reviewed research, but
right.
in this same data set, we've also looked at people who are on DMT,
Mhm.
and we've shown that the rate of progression, stopping smoking has a bigger effect on slowing the rate of progression than being on a normally active DMT. So, like
Wow.
interferons.
Yeah.
Again, that's not published yet. We hope to get
No.
it published sometime in the future. But
Right.
again,
Yeah.
stopping smoking is really important, and it's cheaper than a DMT. This is really, eh,
Uh, So hey, this is just amazing. I think this speaks to the kind of stuff the register is good for. And frankly, I don't have any interest in the register other than as a patient and somebody who is very keen on scientific research.
mm,
But I just think, for people to make the effort, because I know from being involved in the register that take up is patchy, and it would be so much better if we could sort of make the register reflect the MS population, which it doesn't entirely. I mean, there's lots of people, but it's not a perfect reflection or even a very
you're
good
quite right.
reflection.
You're quite right. So there is a sort of a self-selection bias in
Mm.
the population.
Frankly,
Yeah,
when I was
yeah,
20, something like this would be the last thing on my mind. But, so I kind of get it.
yeah.
But
We
yeah.
do have a core group of people who are really active and come back every time.
Mm,
But we also have people who in and out, which both are equally valid, and uh, yeah, we appreciate both of them, and they're both
mm,
very helpful. And they're both types of those people are in this study. So I think whether you have the time to devote every 6 months or whether you just want to dip in and out, I think so.
mm,
What we hope, and I've been really pleased with the positive feedback that we've received from our neurological
mm.
clinical partners. They're really excited about this because it's something that they can actually show to their patients and in clinic. And
So, Jeff, I think we've all know that, the message, don't smoke, smoking, naughty boy, naughty girl, whatever. Yeah. But if I understand you correctly, this is the first time in the research around MS that our doctors and nurses actually have something concrete, research based regarding MS. Good news to say this is the benefit if you stop smoking. Is that right?
so I think so, yes. I think that this is the first time that we have such a huge amount of real world evidence that shows this.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Oh, hey, look, I appreciate you joining us. It's been really cool to hear because to me, all the sort of stuff you do happens in the background, doesn't it? And all of a sudden, you're bringing it to the fore, and the MS Register has helped you do that.
Yeah.
So I really
Well,
appreciate you investing your time just to explain to us why it's so important and what the benefits are. So
well, thank you.
yeah,
It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed this very much, and yeah, I enjoyed talking about it. It's nice to get out of the cubicle and talk about my work.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, don't we all? Listen, if anybody's got any questions about any of this, please put them in the comments. Ask the questions. You know that I will try and find out the answers for you when possible. So you never know. I might be knocking on your door again, Jeff, if there's
Okay.
technical questions. But
Yeah,
and until next time, thanks very much for joining me. Take care.
great. Thanks a lot, Dom. Thanks.
Bye bye.